This you?
What's poppin', what's poppin', what's poppin'? This is Nikki and Moose. Hold on, I don't know what's happening. Welcome, Nikki and Moose. I'm Nikki. That's Moose. What's up, Moose?
What up, y'all?
Yikes!
What up, y'all?
Listen, don't judge me. Don't judge me. It's an interesting day, interesting week. However, welcome. Shout out to all our YouTube people who's watching this live, our Facebook people who's watching this live, and all those who are watching the replay. We love you. We appreciate you. Of course, the new episode drop, episode 127, the ultimate guide of how to raise prices, dropped today. Okay. Please let us know in the comments right now if you've ever thought about raising your prices or you've been concerned about raising your prices. Let us know. Said me. If you've heard the podcast, type 1. If you haven't, type 2, saying that, hey, after this live, I will, because I didn't even know what it was about, but I got you, right? So let us know that. And of course, listen, everybody, whether what platform you're on, please like this. It helps the algorithm. If you are on YouTube and you want to support the channel, super thanks and super chat. And if you're on Facebook, hit those stars. We love and appreciate you. But Moose, how are we feeling?
Man, I'm feeling pretty good. Life is incredible. Life is lifing for sure.
Okay.
It's lifing in an incredible way. Time is moving very slow for me. I think you all understand what season I'm in. So life is moving very slow right now. But that's okay. I think maybe next live I'll say, wow, time has been moving incredibly fast.
This is going too fast.
Between what happened last week and this week, time is just off to the races. So yeah, we're countdown is on, man, but things are great. Overall, can't complain. Yeah.
Countdown to what?
You know, some stuff, some big stuff. You got to keep them guessing, man. You just can't give them the beans. You know, you got to. Maybe if this was the after show, maybe I'll say something.
On that note, just join the after show to learn anything about Moose.
Right.
I mean, shout out to JT who just hit us with the super chat. We appreciate you. We see you. My bad. It's funny because shout out to my mom. My mom is always like, Moose is giving away just a little bit more.
See, real recognize real.
And
be
then
like,
he takes it all the way back. And then he takes I like build off of it. What did that mean? Nope. Join the after show. But at least listen. Hey.
Life.
I'm all about, and we could talk about this. Find a feature, find a platform where you could feel like you could be yourself. And for that is the after show. So all my Team Moose people, if you are not part of the after show, just to understand what he means by these like inside conversations, just join the after show. You get it.
That's it. Yeah, the after show is cool because I get to like sit back. Like even if I don't know if you ever noticed my posture even on the after show.
Oh, I'm just
like
it is
car, super
it
chill,
is
like,
all the way there.
Up?
We had business therapy session. We had
that was fun.
A personal therapy session. I'm telling you, anything you want to know about one of us and our feelings and our thoughts, after show. Just saying.
Yeah, should you care to know? There it is.
People care. You
think so?
How many times have I shown you where they're like, oh my God, Moose is on live. Praise God. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
We love it. We love Moose. I'm like, I love him too. I wish, I know, would just join the after show.
Yeah.
But Moose, what are we talking about today?
Man, listen, this is going to be really, really fun. I'm actually looking forward to this. I got my pen and pad ready. I'm expecting to take some notes, and I think it's going to be super valuable. Before we get into it, though, do me a favor. Please make sure you just share this with at least 2 people. I ain't even going to say 3. Like, I'm going to give you a discount on the third one. Just share it with 2 people who've been in their heads, who you've had conversations with about content and growing a brand or establishing a business. Someone who's been telling you about their dream for a long time, but they've just been in the talking mode for a minute, and you're like, you still talking about this? Make sure you share this with them tonight, right? We really want to share some information that I think can be helpful to get some people to get in the game, if you will. So while you do that, also make sure you let us know where you're checking in from. I know there's 2 platforms rolling tonight, so shout out to everyone on both of those platforms. And make sure you comment, let us know where you're checking in from. I'm not going to read the state that starts with A. Shout out to Mike, because I butchered that once, and ever since now in my head, the one thing when you're like, I know that's not the right way to say it, but
Arkansas.
then your
I
subconscious
totally
is just
forgot
like,
about that.
yeah, but then your subconscious is just like, no, bro, that's the right way to say it. And then you say it thinking it's the right way and ends up being the wrong way. Just crazy. I don't even know why I did that. But anyways, tonight we are talking about the content creation myth. Right? Those things that people make up in their minds about what content creation has to be, what it needs to look like. And the beautiful thing about it is we got content creation, an expert in the space, so that we can really find out what it actually is. Let me tell you something right now, man. The bigger the gap between what you know and what you do, the further success will be away from you. Right? Because we all know certain things. Like it's very easy to acquire information, but the less of that information that you apply or put into action, the further away that you'll be from success. And the other thing is I actually am starting to realize that if you don't act, your learning is not complete. So you can say, oh, I learned that already, but did you act? Did you act on it? Did you apply it? Because if you haven't, your learning is technically incomplete. So let's talk about some things tonight that will hopefully get you out of your own head as a creative, as a brand owner, as a want to get in the game as a brand, or whatever the case may be, so we can make this thing happen. But Nick's, kick us off, man. I mean, I think when I think about content creation and, you ask the question, what does it take to make great content? There's so many different variables that come to mind. I mean, immediately, depending on, of course, the person, but I can imagine a group of people saying, oh, what it takes to make great content is a camera, lighting equipment, audio equipment, and heck, editing equipment. Like, okay, yep, that's to some extent that I guess is true. Somebody else might say, well, no, what it takes to make great content is creativity, expertise, time, and consistency. Yeah, no, that's what it takes. You got to have those things to create good content or great content. But
Right.
I think as we learn more and more, you can almost shelf all of those things to the wayside and say, those are good to have, nice to haves, but not you can't live without kind of situation. So take us down this path of maybe some of the most, I don't know, like unbelievable things that people make in their minds about what content has to be or what is required for content to excel, and show us what is actually required instead of that thing.
Okay, we can do that. So I would say the first one of the equipment, right? Do I get the latest and greatest cameras, lighting, mic, that whole nine? For me to be successful in content creation, I have to have the whole setup. No. You have to be okay and great with what you already have. And we all have a phone. Our phones have 4K. Better believe that? 4K, okay? And the great thing is to improve our content off top when it comes to video, it really just has to do with recording from our back camera. Not our front camera, our back camera. Okay. So when we are buying all these phones and they have the, tell you all the new camera features it has, 9 out of 10 times it's talking about the back camera. And so to improve the quality off top, you probably want to just do that. Put your phone, record it from the back camera real quick. If you have an Apple Watch, right? You can actually monitor what you see with your watch, right? So if you was to just wrap your watch around the camera, you could see, because 9 out of 10 times we look at the front camera because we could see ourselves. But you could do that also with the watch. If you can't do it, if you don't have a watch, I'm not saying go buy it if you don't want to, right? It's a business expense after we dealt with Carter. Remember that, okay? It's a business expense. However, if you don't want to get the watch or you don't have the watch, you can actually connect it to your computer or laptop and put QuickTime for my Apple people and for my PC people. You could set it up with QuickTime and show your phone through there. So you can still have an understanding of where you are and what you look like. The reason why I'm going in on that is just because you pay a whole lot of money on equipment doesn't mean your content's instantly going to be good. You want to be consistent with what you have and get the reps in so that when you do have the expensive stuff, it still comes very natural, just the quality may improve. Because, and I put this out on my social media the other day, depending on when you're watching this, for those people who are watching this live yesterday, where the pressure of having the best setup, having the transitions, having all this types of content that are high quality, there's a pressure that we have amongst us after looking at social media for a while, after consuming it. So we feel as if that is what perfect content is, and that is what we're supposed to be doing. Or depending on the platforms we are. I remember talking to Moose. He's like, I don't like TikTok because I don't want to dance, right? And so we, without even knowing, get very influence what we think the platform wants and what we think people want, just based off what we consume, not who we talk to, not what we've tried, but just based off what we consume. And so if you really break things down, we've seen amazing viral content just come from the phone. So the pressure of creating all this amazing stuff is subjective. And what we really need to do is be present than necessarily always worry about the quality. Because if we're present, we will always beat the person who puts out quality content maybe once in a while, because that's the only time they can get their editor to do it, or they can get the time to do it themselves. But the presence doesn't take that much time. We just show up, we say what we need to say, do what we need to do, show what we need to show, and our followers appreciates that because we are doing exactly what they followed us for. So I would say you don't need the great equipment and things like that. This, what you see now, was a progression. You could go to our very first live on Facebook. You could go to all my lives that I've done on Facebook, on Instagram. It didn't look like this. This took years. So you may look at us now and be like, ha, y'all say that now. Look at y'all. What are you talking about? You're looking at our in the podcast, year, what, two and a half, right? But still with experience of 6 to 7 years prior to that to understand that I need to do it in this level for the podcast. So, no, you don't need the most high-tech equipment regardless of the platform, regardless if it's YouTube, regardless if it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever. You just need to be present. That's what I say.
Wow, that's so good, man. That's so good. Shout out to Jay from Japan. That's
Oh,
incredible.
wow.
That's
Hold
incredible. Jay,
on.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Shout out to Jay tuning in from Japan. That's really cool. Yogi said, finally, a use for this Apple Watch. Yo, that's good. I was on the verge of buying an Apple Watch and I talked myself out of it because I have like an older version of it. And I was like, oh, what am I going to use it for? Like, it's the same thing. And now I'm kind of seeing why. So good
Get it.
stuff. No, but
And the
I love
battery
that.
life.
Incredible, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had an old one and it would die by like 1 p.m.
Wow.
So
Wow.
this lasts all day and I don't have to charge it. Like, it lasts all day. And then you know how many notifications I get. I get a lot
Oh
of
yeah. You just got one right now. Actually, as you said that, you just said notifications. Like,
I get a lot of
no, we know.
notifications.
Yeah, we know you get a lot. No, but that's incredible, man. I think that's powerful there too, because I know for a while, the overthinking and the perfectionist in me could not see beyond quality. It was like, nope, if it's not going to be like this, I'm not going to do it. And the other thing was, oh, once I get to this quality level, I never want to downgrade. I want to keep all of my videos to be on the DSLR. But then the truth is, and you can kind of add your piece to this too, but what I'm noticing is, yes, it's good to have high quality videos, especially if that's the level you've worked up to, right? Like, I think at this level now, we have access to these cameras. We understand the equipment. We can utilize it. The turnaround is relatively quick. We have awesome people who are masters at their portion of it, and they help to accelerate the entire process as well. But what I'm noticing is, while it's nice for people to see you super high def, once in a while, a little selfie video lets them build a connection with you. It helps them to build a relationship with you and say, oh, at the end of the day, this is a real person nonetheless who has feelings and emotions just like I do. They have ups and downs just like I do. But the only difference is they're maybe a little bit more invested on showing me what's happening. And maybe they're a little bit further ahead in having mastered how to navigate those challenges. So that's what I've noticed too. Like, the equipment is great, but even with the equipment, once in a while, it's nice to intentionally downgrade and use something that's relatable for people that they're accustomed to seeing you almost as a friend rather than the superstar, lights, camera, action kind of thing.
Yep.
I love that.
And to go right behind that, like you said, it just makes us feel human, right? And it makes your audience feel like you're human too. We want to be reachable, right? We just want to be reachable. So we got to think about it. And not everybody is going to understand the studio setup. Not everybody's going to understand the videographer following you around, the photographer forever taking those candid pictures that you always look like a model for no reason.
That's right. That's right.
Like, no one really does that in real life. I don't know why that's a thing. But when we just grab our phone and talk, like if Tyler Perry just grabbed his phone right now and talk right now to you, Oprah, right? You be tuned in. Hold on. She has a phone. He has a phone to the point where you're saying, yo, they know how to use a phone. Let them go live. Yo, they're going live. It brings a deeper connection that we underestimate because we are so consumed with what we consume.
Yeah, that's good. Let's talk about some of the more personal things now. I think equally as important, people are going to say, well, creativity, expertise. making time in my busy life away from my work and my family and my this and my that to actually do it. Right. And I think those are intangible things, because there are conversations that we're having with ourselves about what needs to happen for content to be created. Talk about that a little bit, because I know you're a big believer in, like you said, just simply being present, but also helping people to ease up on the requirements to just show up and create.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, creativity is one of those things that there's levels to, as well as it's that same vibe that we have of art, like the eyes of the beholder. So what I find creative, you may not, right? You may not find any of that creative. You'd be like, nigga, this trash. Cool, it may be, right? I may be thinking this is what everybody needs. I use the example a lot where a few years ago in Art Basel, there was a banana that was put on the wall, found
Duct
some
tape,
masking
bro.
tape, and stuck the banana on the wall.
Right.
And it sold for $120,000. Okay? I'm not giving you an air horn. Just feel that, right? And the person bought it and then ate it.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
No, they did not just eat the banana.
Yep.
Wow.
I want to have those too much money problems, by the way. Anybody who wants to continue to sponsor us, please do. But anyways, so, but some people really, to the fact that the price got that high, shows that people found that as art. Now, some of us are going to be like, wait, huh? How? Some people are like, oh my God, the thought of that is just so amazing. The fact that you angled the banana in that kind of way, didn't peel it, just put it that way, and how the brownness of it just came up in a certain kind of way, and the particular masking tape that you got. There's some people that are like that. And there are some people that are like that with the most simplest parts of your content, where you could literally type something on a note app, screenshot it, put it there, and somebody's like, oh my God, the spacing that you did, those particular words that you picked, that hit my soul. I needed that right now. I needed exactly that right now. The music that you picked, though everybody else is picking it, that you picked it. At this moment, I needed it, right? Where sometimes we are downplaying how dope and deep we are because we don't think that. It's an us issue when we are complaining about creativity and style, and it's an us issue. We are trying to please ourselves when we have to really look at what we're putting out and seeing what the data is allowing us to see, to say, hey, this works, this doesn't. This is a fact.
Yeah.
We get in our feelings a lot. And once again, it goes back to that pressure of seeing what everybody else is doing, where we need to be laser focused into the ideas and the creativity that we have, because there is a reason why we have it. There's a true reason why we have it. There's a true reason why the level of creativity that we are at right now is happening. We don't know what's happening in the background when we're posting something, and how it makes somebody feel, how it helped somebody get through their day, how it inspired them to create something, how it made them purchase something that actually relieved them from a really, really depressing day. We don't know any of that. When we are 9 out of 10 times when we're looking at our own creativity and our own style, we're going based off our own feelings, what it does for us, and what we assume it does for other people. And assumptions mean nothing because they don't go based off facts. So we can always improve our creativity 1% every day. If we real about it, you can either continue to complain I'm not creative, or I can put something out and I can improve every single day. Where we are from right now isn't where we were a year ago, isn't where we were when we first started. We didn't sound this good, have the format the way that we have the knowledge, the experience that we have. We intentionally got better every single day, every single week, every single clip, every single full episode. Because if we're going to be in this space, and you have to ask yourself, if I'm going to be in this space, am I trying to just, I'm not creative and that's it. I'm just, it is what it is. Or, I'm really trying to be in this space for a minute, whether it's, whether it's the space of fitness, whether it's the space of podcast, whether it's the space of engineer, whatever your space is. Am I just in this space just to be the same, or am I in this space to get on the elite level? For that, I have to be 1% better with my aesthetics. I have to be 1% better with my creativity. I have to get 1% better with my writing. I have to get 1% better with my perspective and my research. If not, then we can continue to complain and nothing happens.
Man, that's so good. That's so good. I just did the math, just basic math on the time that we've invested just in podcast episodes and live shows alone. And we're up to roughly, could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, 14,400 minutes just on this show alone. All right. And so when you start to simply just dedicate yourself to something, and that's the beautiful thing about this too, man. I will say this, to what you're saying, Nix, the idea of being present and showing up and challenging yourself to get better, just simply having something that you're dedicated to and committed to, and you keep that promise. That's the one thing. Like, a lot of us cheat on ourselves because we say, okay, I'm going to do it every Tuesday at 8:00. And then the third Tuesday rolls around at 7:47. You're like, honestly, it's okay. Only 26 people are only going to know. So it's no big deal. I'm not going to do it this week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Do you not think that there are days, weeks, shows, episodes where we're sitting here like, what should we talk about? I really don't know what we can talk about today. You don't think we have that challenge? That challenge exists for everybody. I don't think you ever get to a point, and it's not that you can't talk about anything. Like, that's the truth, is that you're thinking about, well, what am I going through that I can be passionate about expressing? What are people thinking about, and what am I hearing from others so that I can give them something that's helpful and is going to resonate with them? And if you can just simply stay connected, you'll start to eventually break through that wall. And that's the part that I've noticed. Like, if I can maybe take one of my biggest lessons from working on the podcast all this time, is that no matter what the circumstances, if you push yourself, you will land on something. And you can say, I have no idea. Push yourself, you'll land on something. Just push, because one thing leads to another thing, leads to a third thing. And before you know it, you've stitched together enough concepts, ideas, things that you can touch on to create your content from. And of course, we're talking mainly on, say, like personal brand or just your own thing right now, not so much on a business front, which could be a little bit different. But I just think about how many people, and Janita put it in the chat now. She said, we got to start finding excuses. I imagine she said, we got to stop finding excuses. But it's like, at some point you got to decide. Are you going to keep telling yourself the same old, like, broken excuse every time? Oh, but this, oh, but that. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard when you're in that position and you just don't even you don't take a shot on you. Like, that's not fair.
I think it has to go with, this is still a new space for most with content creation and expressing themselves in a visual way. So when we start something, we suck. right? When we go and try to do push-ups, we can't even do 5. Where you look at other people, they're doing 50, 100, 200 a day, and you can't even do 5, right? But with time, I can do 5. Don't look at me though. I can do 5. So but with time it gets better, right? We have to build that muscle up. And so that's the same thing with creativity. You have to build that muscle up. You have to try and try again and try again. And like, we have to look at even all the greats and go back. For those who didn't delete their beginning times, you got to go back and see how their videos were, how their pictures were, how, like, Gary Vee is very documented about his first video. Mr. Beast, very documented. Sean Kennel, very documented. And this is just some of the creators. David Chance, very documented. And so we have to look back and be like, oh, snap, they sucked too. They really did. This was really bad. But maybe it looked really good at the time because I wasn't doing anything at the time. And so it was amazing. But then we have to take that same vibe with ourselves and be like, we're going to look back and be like, damn, that sucked. Wow. That was horrible. That was so, I still talk about our first podcast. And the funny thing is that we were practicing before and we still sucked in our first podcast episode.
Pretty bad, I must say. Yeah.
We are just, and we've said this multiple times, we are just getting our, our footing right with the format. There's a certain flow. We shout out to Kat. Kat was like, yo, that episode that you had with Glenn was one of the best interviews. And we've had some big time people on our joint. And she said, yo, one of the best interviews. The way you guys flowed, it felt like the live. It felt like there wasn't all over the place. So what do you think we did? We looked at that. Okay, boom. How do we apply that same vibe to the podcast? This is 1% better each time, and stop having the pressure of needing to be perfect when there is no true definition of perfect content out there. I'll wait.
Yeah. You know, and I hate to go back here, but I'm going to go back here, which is, I think there's so much value in being able to understand yourself. Like, understanding yourself is so critical, man. I say that because I know a couple of things about me. And when I've learned to find ways to just neutralize those things, I now use those things to help me rather than stop me, right? Mm-hmm. So let me give you an example. I know for sure I am never satisfied with anything that I do the first time. Every single time I've recorded a video, every single time I've said something or did a training, or the first time I do it, I'm like, that wasn't good. I really didn't like it. I think it could be better. And it's because I learned so much from getting ideas out of my head and communicating them verbally, seeing how people respond. There are so many different elements that go into something like that I'm never satisfied with my first time. Like, I literally have never done something and my first time saying, wow, amazing.
Right.
And so in the past, the conversation I would have with myself was, dude, you're not that good. Like, I don't think you should be doing this. Right. And it was like talking myself out of the door, like out of this whole opportunity in general, rather than saying, okay, you're right, it wasn't that good, but how can you make it better? Mm-hmm. Make it better, actually make it better. Like, don't let the negative self-talk bring you down to the point where you're not seeing the opportunity to make something better as a good thing. Like, you're seeing the opportunity to make something better as you suck. Well, it's okay if you do, but you have an opportunity to improve. It's one thing if you do something and it's not good and there's no room for you to grow. That's bad. I agree with you. That's terrible because now you've given your best, it's not good, and you reached your maximum potential. It's like, what do you do from here? You do have to leave. But the beautiful thing about life, especially when you talk content and just the digital space in general, every time you do something, there's opportunity for you to improve, and that is helpful for where you're headed. And so just that small shift, and for some people will be like, really, that's what it was? Yeah, because as long as the negative self-talk is talking you out of doing it again and taking that chance to improve, that's the difference between you getting up, dusting yourself off, standing back straight and giving it another go versus walking out and saying, nah, it's not going to work. It's not for me. I'm going to try something else. And then you try something else and you come back and you're like, dang, that thing that I was doing 3 years ago, I wish I would have just stayed consistent with that. Well, that's what we're telling you right now. You know, so that part, just learning that cycle about myself and not letting my disappointment in my first time performance be something that I'm shocked with or that I take super personal. I'm like, okay, you know this about yourself. Just do it again. Get it over with. Like, get the first time out of the way. Because I know this about myself. My first time is never going to be something I'm satisfied with. So get the first time out of the way, go ahead and book a second one, record a second one, do whatever it is that you need to do to get back out there. And as I've worked through that, major difference, man. Like just here, major difference. Major difference.
That's a fact. Sheesh. Okay, Moose.
What's our final myth, Nix? Is there anything else that you think goes unnoticed or maybe not paid attention to as much that people make up in their mind about when it comes to just creating great content, and it may be just overinflated? Like, okay, yeah, it could be important, but in reality, it really isn't all that.
I'll say this one. Video quality doesn't mean anything if your audio sucks. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Your video quality can be 8K, 20K, 40K, whenever they come out with all that great stuff. Okay? With the super, super expensive cameras, due to inflation, costs $1 million, right? But if your audio sucks, means nothing, right? Simple things that can help it. If you're recording from your phone, go to Adobe Podcast and they have this audio enhancer that can make it sound like you have a professional mic. Okay? And it's free. So I'm not giving you anything that's super expensive or anything like that. Now, after that, get a wireless mic. If you're creating content on a consistent basis, podcast format, get you one of the Shure mics, RE20. Like, invest in where people can hear you, because your message is more important than what they can see. We all think video is what's killing the game. And to an extent, it is. Because we are visual people. But if I'm seeing you and I can't hear you, I'm going away. So I would say focus more and master the audio side of things when it comes to your video. Definitely when it comes to your podcast and content as such. Concentrate on that before you concentrate on the video quality. We look at Earn Your Leisure. You look at those early episodes, done with an iPhone, mic was Shure, right? They had the mics. They had iPhones as video cameras. So master the audio and your video will elevate just by you doing that.
Wow. I like that. That's real. That's real. You said the app was Adobe Podcaster app?
So it's not an app, it's a website. It's a,
Oh,
yeah, hold on. I'll get it right now. Hold on. It's podcast.adobe.com. So
podcast.
I'll put it in the comments and stuff, and I'll definitely put it in the description for you guys. But that has a kind of it's called enhanced speech, and what it does, it cleans up your audio. We actually use it for Creator Ave. So for anybody who's heard our Friday audio only series Creator Ave, that's all done and equalized and edited in enhanced speech because we can.
Speaking of which, make sure you check out Creator Ave every Friday at 6 a.m. because, I mean, how could you not check that out while you're trying to improve your content? Really good thing. I love it. What about some of the, I thought you said there were also some resources in the AI bucket also as it relates to audio improvement. Is there anything on that front?
That was AI.
Oh, that's it. Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
AI.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah. The
okay.
majority of the tools that I say now, it's 9 out of 10 times is AI.
That's fire. That's fire. Because I did a video from the car, and just as a way to like I said, build that more personal connection and kind of break the monotony of just camera facing videos or professional camera, that is. And the audio is always taking a hit. And so I'm like, I wonder if there's some resources out there to clean it up. So I'm glad you mentioned that. Podcast.adobe.com.
Yep. And Calvin says that's just for podcasts. And I'm saying, no, it's not. Because you could take any audio and drop it in enhanced speech and it cleans it up. So no, it's not just for podcasts. It's for any of the videos that you've created. You have to make it into an MP3 or a WAV format. And that's as simple as going into Google and saying MP4 or MA4, whatever the format of that, or MOV, whatever the format of the video is, turn to MP3, turn to WAV. There's a whole bunch of free converters that do that. If you just Googled it, and then you could take that audio and put it in enhanced speech, and it's done for free. Nothing I'm saying right now is something that you have to pay for.
That's dope. That's dope. So simply just like saving as, in a sense, right, to extract the audio, put that in there, and then put it back to your. That's dope. That's dope. Yep. I love it. I love it. Nix, as always, thank you. Thank you. Powerful stuff, man. Powerful stuff. Folks, I hope you got some, I hope you got some, some like, just really had a self-check right now. Like, okay, you know what? Let me stop lying to myself. Let me stop the nonsense. Let me stop utilizing these excuses and calling them reasons. And let me get serious about this thing, because for real, time is going to pass you by regardless. Only difference is, are you going to be further ahead than where you started? Or are you going to be exactly where you are or even further behind because you stopped being consistent, you stopped staying connected and all those things. So yeah, good stuff, Nix. Thanks as always for making this thing happen.
Of course. And everybody, please, please, please type 1 if you listen to the audio experience of our new podcast episode 127, The Ultimate Guide of Increasing Your Prices. Type in 1 if you have. Type in 2 if you're going to after this live. We would highly, highly appreciate it, okay? Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. And then, of course, on Fridays, go listen to Creator Ave, because if you haven't noticed, Creator Ave is actually the best part, the meat and potatoes of these lives. So for those people who don't want to watch the full episode, for those who may have came in a little bit late, we got you on the replay. It's not in order, so don't think you could be like, okay, I came in late. No, this is why we want you to go check out Creator Ave. It's a whole vibe. And then, of course, on YouTube, the video of episode 127 is dropping Wednesday 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so definitely go check that out. Tell people to subscribe. Tell people to share it. It's a whole vibe. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you, Moose. Oh,
Thank
they
you.
want the link to the podcast. Hold on. We could give you the link to the podcast now.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Well,
easy. Hold
and not
on.
for nothing, that episode is fire. I'm gonna be honest. That
Oh
episode
yeah.
is really dope.
No. It,
Even Nick's was like, "Yo, that was fire. It's
listen.
fire."
Listen.
So that was good. Hmm.
Because what I really appreciate is that we find the 1% of entrepreneurs that are doing it and getting their take on it. And so it's not something that we thought about, something in our feelings. These are proven strategies and blueprints that we're giving you guys. And we're learning at the same time. We're learning at the same time. So
That's real.
we love you. We appreciate you. The link is in the chat and the comments. Go check that out. All podcast players: Apple, Google, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, Amazon, wherever you want. Soon, YouTube. YouTube Music is about to have podcasts. I'm not telling you because I'm probably going to talk about that later on in life. But watch out for that. But until then, we love you. We appreciate you. And you know what we're going to say.
Peace, y'all.